Okay. I think this is working. Let's see. I'm going to try to get this to show me the chat on my iPad. I don't know if that will work or not, but that way I can kind of have two screens and monitor the chat. Inking the tower. Okay, all right, there's me live. And now I can see myself. Two screens and okay. Okay. Start here. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right, we're still getting the hang of this. Anyway, nobody's there, but welcome anyway to my preliminary attempt at drawing live on YouTube. Let's get started. So I have this this giant tower golem here, and he is for a secret project that I'll announce a little later. So we'll set that, and so please sign up for my free newsletter at matthewART.com, and if you show up, please you know, state your name, where you're from, and ask a question. Let's draw. Okay, so the sunlight's going to be coming from this way, right? So I'm going to thicken the lines on this side of everything. Okie dokie. All right. Okay, here we go. First line's always a little scary. Oh no! Just kidding, it's not that scary. Nice. Sometimes I like to do the eyes first because the eyes are the windows to the soul, but also the eyes you know, take a lot of energy because you want to get them just right. They can't just be circles. Somehow you have to get emotion and life in there. You have to put a soul into it. So we'll start it dark, thick to thin, thin to thick. Just letting the brush do lots of interesting little wibble wobbles. On the bottom sides, we let the line be extra thick. This will start off thin, and the shadows gather at the bottom so the line gets thick. So thin to thick. Thin to thick. Let it be thin up there at top as if the light's catching the corner. Yeah. Sometimes what's easiest is to start off on the contour lines. That's the outside lines of your object. So you start on the outside and then kind of work your way in, surround and conquer. So try a little bit of that. Nice. Keep following the contour line all the way down. Getting thicker as we move towards the bottom. This I'm almost pressing so hard down here that I'm gonna let the bristles kind of break apart a little bit. It'll make kind of an interesting texture down there. Add little details if this thing's huge and little parts hang from way down there, bits of moss and maybe a root that accidentally got brought up from the earth when he rose from the ground to walk the land. Couple of texture ticks there, like that. All right, so this is his skirt. So we'll move around the skirt. This is some moss that's on the skirt. So if you texture things from moss. Kind of dig the brush in a little bit there. So this is some kind of indention for where the joint is. So we'll let extra shadows gather up in there. Who knows what marvelous mechanical magics hold this giant thing together. Oh, down here by the grass. It is a rainy day here, right outside the Matt Cave. Just me and my bird Merlin making art. Okay, giant clomper feet made of iron, strengthened by witch star or dragon star metals that fell from the sky. Oh, hi, Chewy. My dog Chewy has come to visit me. Yes, at least Chewy still loves me, huh? Oh. He tripped the light and scared himself. Sorry, Chewy. It's okay. It's okay, boy. It's okay. You're alright. You're alright. It's just a light. That's all. Okay, let's finish up this foot. Yeah, Chewy's like, I'm out of here. What are you doing? You got some lights on. You got... What is that? What are you using your phone for? That's not what you usually use your phone for. Actually, he's probably thinking, I want food. I'm a dog. Okay. So this skirt is made of bricks, so try to give them some dimensionality. Quite a bit of stuff going underneath. The form follows underneath the skirt there, so we'll give that extra detail too. try to hint that there's just a lot going on under there. It takes a lot to make this giant thing move. You know, like a Howl's Moving Castle maybe, or something, just made together a hodgepodge of steelworks and things left over from the Fourth Wizard War. Things that maybe fell out of the sky, and then good old-fashioned medieval engineering. Maybe a conquered castle got turned into 3 towers because it had 3 remaining towers. That was part of their surrender. I don't know, it's your world. You can kind of have fun with it, make it up as you go along. Okay, let's trace some, a little bit of cross-hatching. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let's finish these bricks down here. Yeah, probably can't move that. There we go. Here's Link. Hey. Hey, Link. How's it going? Okay, Mando can go over there. All right, let's do this hand. Looks like my live stream is working. So, yay, not bad for first-ish time. So I'm using the brush pen on this side. See, because this side is thin, and then this side has a brush. But brushes tend to be a little looser, a little more expressive, while the this lid is a little more well, it's yeah, I can get a lot more finer details with this end. But since this is just such a huge, massive, lumbering thing, I kind of wanted to look a little rickety. So I'm just using the brush for at least most of it, because I just think it will give it that extra bit of organic gobbledygook. That's a technical term. So that's under the hand, and then right there we start having some mechanical bits. There's some rough oxidized iron tubing right there. Kind of let the brush do some of the work and get some interesting textures in there. Most of it hidden in shadow. Let's try to make it thicker on the bottom. Yeah, usually when drawing robots or some kind of mechanical thing, you'd want to be a little more precise and really dial up your draftsmanship. But since this is a sort of a magic golem, you know, in the spirit of Howl's Moving Castle, which is all kinds of rickety dickety do, it's I'm satisfied with my decision to let it sort of be organic and a little bit janky. There we go, got most of the hand done. Okay. Let's let this kind of protrude out, sort of make an interesting silhouette shapes here. Silhouette. And let the silhouette be interesting on the side. So it goes out, in, out. Very good. Maybe it's casting a little bit of shadow that way. That also kind of leads the eye around. The armor plating is wearing away on this side. All right, got to the elbow joint. Maybe just a few texture dots there. I think it'd be kind of cool if that middle finger was just a little bit more substantial. Yeah, something like that. Maybe something's fallen off. Some part of something that he has recently picked up and discarded. Possibly a cow. You never know with tower golems. All right, elbow connecting like that. This side, you can see it, a little more of its roundness. Get some of the gears grinding up there. Maybe this is just kind of some sort of tubing that goes up, connecting to the elbow there, and that can actually be thicker. Start defining some of the interior bricks, demonstrating how he is put together. I actually stretched them in the computer so they're kind of, you know, his proportions were sort of even, you know, like the same size, same size, same size. And what you want to do is you want to go big, little, small. So I stretched his torso and his head, the skirt, everything, so that it would meet the big, little, small requirement, which would give it more appeal. Okay, let's get the second item. This is like maybe a jaw or a nose, so it actually goes up over the eye. So where this meets this tangency here, I'll make sure that it's behind whatever that is, nose or mouth. We will see how the drawing resolves itself. Right along here, kind of letting the edges have a little bit of detail as if the object's rolling around on the side. So you're catching a few more things on the contour. It always looks cool when you put like a line for some reason out of the side or down from a robotoid or non-humanoid's, you know, some kind of mechanical's face. Kind of looks like they're crying, maybe, then makes them a little sympathetic. Or you start to think, does that robot have a soul? It probably has a little bird friend, as is required by law, that all robots have a small bird friend. Of course, in this guy's case, he probably has lots of little bird friends living in his corridors. Okay, so circle is connected by a gigantic pin the size of a small cottage. Nice. A few more texture ribbons. All right. second arm is almost finished. Let's see, maybe this thing's been built lopsided. Yeah. What are these? These are probably Hellboy hands. I tend to draw them whether I mean them to or not. Just big, clunky, industrial diesel punk World War II technology. Forged of iron that fell from the sky. Okay, tuck this finger behind the thumb. Be kind of generous with the contour line there. Maybe suggest some joints. Okay, let's get some moss in there. I'll try to shake my hand a little bit because it's all mossy green. Let's see, let me try to finish the moss down here. Gotta remember to look up and make sure that everything's in frame. Sorry for when it's not. We will get better as we try more. I think it's going to be okay if I just kind of suggest some bricks sometimes. There's quite a bit of defining of where the bricks are already. Because the bricks are moving around the object that way, you can see the, you know, of this seam here, you can kind of see up into it, into the side of it. And that'll kind of help those bricks look a little more three-dimensional. Let's see, how does that fit together? It's kind of, that overlaps that. And maybe that comes down like that. Just let it be kind of lumps of stone that have been overgrown with moss. I'll do some light cross-hatching here, but I'll do the main cross-hatching with a much thinner marker. Do a texture ribbon along the side. If you don't do a line like that in the middle, if you do it along the side like that, it will make something look kind of more three-dimensional. Never in the middle, always to the third. Unless you want to do the middle, in which case do the middle. There are times when that is good. Okay, let's try to finish up the rest of the moss. It's I always get sidetracked. I had art teachers that, you know, said work around the whole canvas. And that kind of helps create a cohesion. You know, kind of unites the entire piece because you're kind of working on it all at once. And so it's kind of what I do. I also try to focus on finishing things, so don't forget to finish it later. You know, it's a miracle any of these drawings get done at all. I was watching a Miyazaki documentary, and Hayao Miyazaki-san is there, and he's like drawing and suffering. Why do we keep doing it? I don't know. It does feel like suffering sometimes, but other times it's just such a joy when you're drawing, when you're alone in, you know, your studio or somewhere you can close the door, or some far-seeing place that you can go. And you're alone there with your thoughts and your art, and all is right with the world. Okay, let's call this his crown. That's right. It goes up under there, these turrets for these parapets, whatever you call them. Parapets? So some of these stones are going to be built up into the crown. And some of them are not. It's a lot of what's going on with this guy is non-symmetrical. This was not the king or the emperor's tower. This was a tower constructed as rapidly as possible before the next raiders sailed up the river. There we go. Just kind of let these things be in the shadow. We'll do some spot blacks. That's where you just let everything be in the shadow. Because it's casting such deep, dark shadows. I did this funny thing a while ago. So it's fun to return to it in a month or so and kind of wonder what the past me meant or was thinking when he drew the original. When he drew the pencil version, the scribbles that I'm inking in now. So now I need to resolve everything the past me did and interpret maybe what I meant. And that's sort of a strange feeling. The communication to yourself through time. Let's see. We can cross-hatch those a little now and let the shadows hang there. Let's see. Let's follow the cylinder. Combination of cross-hatchings and indications of moss. Okay, starting to think more about where I can put some spot blacks. Oh, my dog must have seen another dog. He's like, hey dog, are you a dog? I'm a dog too. Let's be dogs. Oh, we're both dogs. I'm telling you, that's exactly what he sounds like. Let's see if you let shadows gather nice and thick and black in any place that I think will let it give the whole thing more dimension, give it more volume. It's hard to do volume when you only have black and white. Much easier with grayscales or color to do that. But that's what inking looks like it does. And that's why it makes it such an interesting challenge and puzzle. Let's just put a little edge there. Rainwater's been really running down this guy. A lot of moss growing. Quite a mess. You could use some carpenters and some stonemasons. Perhaps that is his quest. To go and be refurbished. Looking for the masons that built him. Sadly, it's been hundreds of years and nobody's seen those mysterious ones for such a long time. And perhaps the castle wakes up in the modern day today. He says, "What is going on?" He starts walking around, scaring the villagers, picking up automobiles. But eventually finding that 1960s life quite agrees with him when he starts his own band. You know, not every story idea is a good one. Okay, let's see, I like that. Let's give some volume blacks to the flag here. Okay, so that concludes using this. Please sign up for my newsletter at matthewART.com. It's free and it's cool and won't have any spam of any kind in it. Just inspiration and everything that makes life so super awesome. That's a good tagline, maybe. I was trying to figure out like if I wanted to title live drawings that I do anything. You know, maybe like live art with matthewART or something to that effect, but this pen is a little bit broken. See that? Yeah, that's too bad. I'll have to use something else. Yeah, I'll use my Pelican fountain pen to the rescue. Yes, perfect. So with this thing, I can go in here and add just one more level of detail. I don't know, that's probably too thick. Where is the thin line pen? Pardon me, I'm gonna have to look for it. Oh, there we go. Copic 0.5 U will do beautifully. Here we go. This one is so smooth and easy to get good. Get just the line you want. So responded. It's like the complete opposite of the brush that I was using earlier. So really on these, I'm trying to want to do less detail. But because this guy is supposed to just be this massive, massive super titan of a golem, he should have more detail, I think. But I'll have to try out to see when they're all lined up. Let's see what kind of, if they need to be more unified or, you know, they all kind of work together. But I think that inking them out in the real world like this, not only is it fun for me, but it will give them all kind of a similar look. Give them all a cohesive kind of style. Sometimes it's a little hard to do that in the computer because you have so many options. But, you know, it's all a state of mind and just staying in control of your decisions and tools that you're using. Ignoring the 1 million tools that are in the computer for just a few to make sure you get the right look, get the look you want. So I'm kind of cross-hatching here. I'm sort of imagining the sunlight coming down and hitting our guy here. Letting the shadows kind of wrap around the forms. Kind of a few texture ticks. They like to live in the corners of the bricks. Those texture ticks. This is moss, so I'll do little miniature upside down U's. Try to make it look mossy. Tick, 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 tick. Texture ticks. Tick, 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 tick. There we go. Let's see what's going on back there. Let's kind of blend these together a little bit with some cross hatches. Some stone ticks. All right. Almost ready to call this one done. This one done, only like 100 more to go or so. You know what might actually be really cool is to take these and make them into paper stand-up minis. This needs to be a lot darker probably. I think now, you know, at the end of your drawing, you sort of start editing it and you start thinking about where everything is and where it would really go, and then you try to indicate that, create more of an illusion of life. A few more cross hatches down here at the base of the foot. Just kind of thinking about the light hitting it and where it goes. Cast more of a shadow on the leg. kind of just scumbling around here because I think the bottom of the skirt would just be completely beat up, scraping along the ground or whenever he sits down. Just be really, really beat up and dirty at the bottom there. Do a few like leafy things along the bottom too. Kind of makes sense. Okay, just a few on the side here. All right. Okay. We are done. This has been Matthew S. Armstrong, your artist. This has been How to Draw with matthewART Live. This has been both How to Draw matthewART Live with artist me, Matthew Armstrong, drawing live. Please sign up for my free newsletter at matthewart.com. Hey, thanks a bunch. Bye. How do I turn this thing off?